Hey, what's going on everybody? Welcome to this maths tutorial. Here I'll be discussing about some mathematics problems like speed multiplication. Now to multiply fast in your head, all you need to do is basically follow this tutorial. So we'll start first up by learning the multiplication by 11. So here's a problem, multiplication by 11. It's 42 times 11. Now to do this, what we do is write 4 first and 2 at the end, and in between the sum of 4 and 2, that's 6. Similarly, a new problem, let's say uh, okay, 39 times 11. Now in this there's a carry problem, so if we write 3 first and 9 at the end, the sum comes out to be 12. Yeah, 3 plus 9 is 12. Now 12 cannot be there in between. We'll have to do one carry, that's 4, and 2 in between and 9 at the end. So 429 is the answer. This is pretty simple, and this makes 11 my favorite number as it's the easiest to multiply to any other number. Next up, we'll begin with the multiplication, or rather the square of any number with 5 at its end. Yeah, let's say a number, suppose 25. So 25 square, as we all know, is 625, but the easier way or the trick is to write 25 at the end and multiplying 2 with the next number, that is 3. So that makes 2 into 3 is 6. Very well done indeed. Next up, let's say 95 square. Yeah, so 95 squared is 9 times 9 plus 1, that is 90, and 25 at the end. So it's 9025, 9025. Now all this stuff may seem quite magical and counterintuitive, but it's not. Trust me, it's not. It's actually a pretty easy trick which I will be showing you next. Let's again take the case of 25, that is 25 squared. Now 25 squared is 25 times 25, like 4 square is 4 times 4, 16. Now let's say 25 as x, and we need to calculate x squared. Now to do that, we have quite a lot of tricks, and the most usable or the fastest one is adding a number, let's say 5 in this case, to x, and subtracting 5 from x, that is x minus 5 and x plus 5. Multiplying x minus 5 and x plus 5 of course gives x square minus 25. So we'll have to add the additional 25 in order to cancel out the other 25, giving us the answer of x squared. Now this seems a pretty long method, but it's not. It's actually pretty easy in the head. So 25 minus 5 is 20, 25 plus 5 is 30. To multiply two numbers with zeros at their backs is pretty easy in fact. All you have to do is multiply the numbers and write the two zeros, that is 600, and adding 25, which will always be there because adding 0 to 25 always gives 25. So 625 is the answer. So you don't need to think a lot in these questions. All you need to do is write 25 at the end and multiply the number with the next one. Now this trick isn't limited to the numbers ending in 5 at all. It can be used to any other number to calculate the square of any given number. And it makes the multiplication or the square a lot easier than any other trick possible. So let's say any number is x. subtracting a from it and adding a to it, and then multiplying them. It would give x square minus a square, and finally adding the a square to cancel out the given minus a square, and that results in x square. That's a pretty straightforward mathematics, but now in order to use it as a mental mathematics, all we need to figure out is the value of a. A can be anything. It can be 0, it can be 1, it can be 2, it can be any other number, but the art is in figuring out the best possible a, and that best possible a would be a number when which added or subtracted leads us to any number with 0 at its end, which is easier to multiply or maneuver. Now let's say we have 17 squared. 17 is pretty close to 20. So x is 17 and a is 3, because adding 3 to 17 gives us 20. So adding 3, we'll also need to subtract 3, which leaves us to 14. 14 into 20 is of course 280. Now adding the 3 squared, which is 9, gives us 289. Pretty easy, right? Yeah, all these things are important, but the most important thing to calculate in mind are follows. First of all, you need to calculate everything left to right. Unlike what you have been taught in schools, you multiply, subtract, or add right to left and then speak in reverse to find the answer. But unlike that, in mental mathematics, you need to do everything left to right. The second important thing is division over multiplication. Always prefer division over multiplication, because division is the only thing that's been taught left to right in schools as well. So it's not really difficult to divide. You can speak out the answer as you calculate without bothering to remember it. Yeah, as I can illustrate it here from multiplying 74 by 50. Now multiplying 5 with 74 is rather easy problem, but it is easier to multiply 100 and divide it by 2, because we all know that 74 upon 2 is 37 and 0 at the end. Now let's get to single digit multiplication. 47 times 7. Unlike school mathematics, we'll write 47 as 40 plus 7 and multiply it by 7. Now multiplying 4 by 7 gives us 2, 8 and 0 plus 49. Since we don't need to keep a lot of things in our mind. And the answer is 329. Next up is multiplication of two-digit numbers. Now multiplying 27 by 32, we can maneuver either of the numbers here, but let's say we change 32 to 30 plus 2 and multiplying it by 27, all we know is 27 into 3 is 81. That gives us 810 and plus 54. The answer is 864. Now multiplying a three-digit number by a one-digit number, it's not a big deal. We can write 729 as 700 plus 29 and multiplying it by 7. We get 4900 plus 203, which gives us 5103. Next up is a multiplication of a three-digit number by a two-digit number, that is 721 times 23. Now writing 721 as 700 plus 21 and multiplying it by 23, we can multiply 7 by 23, which gives us 16100 or 16,100, and adding 21 times 23, that is 483. This gives the answer 165,183 or 16,583. Now let's get back to squares. Square of 53. 53 minus 3 is 50. 53 plus 3 is 56. 56 times 50 is 2800, and adding 9 in it, that is 3 square, we get 2809. Now 78 can be taken up to 80 and taken down to 76. Instead, I am here taking it to 100, because multiplying anything with 100 is rather pretty easy. So 78 plus 22 gives me 100. 78 minus 22 gives me 56. 56 times 100 is 5600, and adding 22 square, that is 484, gives me 6084. Next up, let's multiply 99 with 99, that is 99 squared. That's a pretty easy equation. Adding 1 gives me 100, subtracting 1 gives me 98. 98 times 100 gives me 9800, and adding 1 squared, that is 9801. So next time if someone asks you 99 squared to check your mental ability, you would rather be laughing. Next up, let's calculate 81 squared. 81 plus 19 gives me 100. 81 minus 19 gives me 62. 62 times 100 is 6200. Adding 19 square, that is 361, gives me 6561 or 6561. 42 squared, 42 plus 8 is 50. 42 minus 8 is 34. 34 times 50 is 1700, and adding 8 square, that is 1764. Now next up is 73 squared. 73 plus 27 is 100. 73 minus 27 is 46. 46 times 100 is 4600, and adding 27 squared, that is 729, to 4600 gives me 5329. Now let's get to 3-digit number multiplication, and probably one of the easiest would be 112 square. The method is similar. Minus 12 gives me 100, plus 12 gives me 124. 124 times 100 is 12400, or 12,400, and adding 12 square, that's 144, to it I get 12,544. Pretty simple, right? Let's get to some difficult ones. Let's say 157 squared. 157, now you can take it to 150, or you can take up add 3 and get to 160, but in 3-digit numbers it's easier if you take them to numbers with two zeros, that is 100 or 200 in this case. I will add 43 to it and go to 200, and minus 43 would be 114. Now 114 and 200 are 22800, or 22,800, and adding 43 squared. Now 43 squared has to be done with the similar method. 43 squared, taking it to 50 and minus 7, that is 36, and 36 times 50 is 1800, and 9 1809. Now 22,800 and 1,849 is 23,000 24,649. Now 741 squared minus 41 gives me 700, plus 41 gives me 782. 782 times 7 is 5,474, and 00. Now adding this to 41 squared, that is 1,681, gives me the answer 554, sorry, 5,49,081. Next up, let's see 823 squared. Now 823 squared, let's minus 23 to 800 and plus 23 to 846. 846 times 800 gives me 6 lakh 76,800, and adding 23 square to it, and 23 would be 20 and 26, that should be 520 or 529. 529 added to 6 lakh 76,800 would be 6 lakh 80 6 lakh 77,329. That's it. So these are not really difficult once you start practicing them. Next up is 4-digit multiplication, or rather square of 4-digit numbers. So square of 4-digit numbers squared. You need some serious guts and a lot of practice to do these questions now. Now, to calculate the square of such big numbers, there's a technique called mnemonics, which I'll be talking about in the next video, and also the square of 4-digit numbers. Along with that, I'll also tell you how to calculate the day of any given date of the 1900s and 2000s, or the 2000s. So stay tuned for the next one, and don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. I'll see you next time. Stay tuned.